This has become such a big global deal that Trump is angry. We don't know what he'll do next with Norway.
Bro, discuss about the
Thank you very much for having me. First of all, the fact that the Nobel Peace Prize Committee has made the decision is very important. They have their own way of thinking, they have their own logic, and once the decision is made, all of us need to come to terms with that. That's number one. Number two is that decision for the Nobel Peace Prize is for the year 2025. There are other chances. And secondly, if President Trump really wants to get a peace prize, the best way is to really work wholeheartedly for peace, rather than thinking or dreaming about the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, the other point I want to emphasize is that no one should consider himself or herself having an entitlement to the Nobel Peace Prize. You work for peace without thinking about the Nobel Peace Prize. That's the best way to get a Nobel Peace Prize as a reward for your wholehearted effort for peace. Now, the second thing is that you can really not expect to get a peace prize if you, for example, bomb Iran, if you launch an anti-mankind tariff war against more than 200 countries in the world, if you really want to bludgeon free trade, for example. All these efforts are not working for peace. They are actually blocking peace. So I hope President Trump will really become more philosophical in his dream about getting the Peace Prize. There are 3 more years for him to really work very hard for Nobel Peace Prize. And I personally hope, with his wholeheartedness and full devotion for peace, which is not a bad idea, he will get a Peace Prize in due course, if the Nobel Peace Prize Committee really believes that President Trump has really made great efforts wholeheartedly for peace, rather than desiring for the Peace Prize without or with enough efforts for peace.
No, I don't think there are enough efforts that he has taken. And now I want to turn the debate into the direction of why I believe he does not deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. Several reasons have been cited. First, I would say here, he does not believe in any international agreements. He does not believe in standing by global climate. It is the #1 global issue. All countries are reacting whether Trump should or should not have got the Nobel Peace Prize. How do we deal with this situation now? It's become completely focused on him.
I actually agree with many points you just now made. I think for President Trump, the real big thing for him to do is to really devote himself to making peace, rather than dreaming about getting the Nobel Peace Prize. And he should work for peace, regardless of whether he gets the Nobel Peace Prize. Getting Nobel Peace Prize should not be his goal. His real goal should be working for peace. And if he really works for peace, I think the Nobel Peace Prize most likely will come his way. So he should not put the cart in front of the horse. He should really keep the horse ahead of the cart, and that's the right logic. Don't twist the logic. Don't dream about getting the Nobel Peace Prize and using that as the only aspiration for your work for peace. Now, peace does not mean without war. Peace means defending free trade and avoiding weaponizing the dollar, weaponizing the SWIFT system, weaponizing tariff, for example, and refusing to tell the real truth to the American people. Who pays all the tariffs, for example? So I think working for peace is much more complicated than what President Trump has claimed, that he stopped 7 or 8 wars. No one really believes what he said, but I think I'm sympathetic with President Trump for one thing. He keeps talking about peace, and he keeps believing that he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. But the final decision is not for President Trump to make. The final decision is for the Nobel Peace Prize Committee to make.